This is the EGC 20k Age of Empires 4 tournament. The quarterfinals are on, the last 8 generals are battling it out, and a war still rages on. And welcome back to the Ironcast coverage of the EGC tournament. I'm your friendly host Anuki, but if you don't want a warm friendly introduction, I've got that covered.
Alright, who we got here then? It's Lucifron. He got lovely blue decorations. I hope they're gonna share that meat with the rest of France. That's enough for them then. If you wander to the south, guess what you'll find? I'll tell you what you'll find. It's the Viper. That's no nickname either. Well, it is, but you know, even his mum calls him the Viper. I think he was bitten by a snake when he was born. That's why it's coloured in red. Anyway, they messed up last time, but usually they get the job done.
Anyway, you can be if you think I'm doing that for the whole rest of the match. So, France versus Mongols. The monster Mongols. Oh, you like to see the Mongols. I think they are the most chaotic and mayhemic of the nations one might choose. It's down to the leader, and, you know, what will the Viper do in command? The map is Dry Arabia, a map which typically starts with a race to cavalry, given the nations on display, that is. I think this will certainly be true for France. But will the Viper look to be aggressive early on, or might they use the double production to get a good defense in the feudal age? Those are the things we usually see happen. The double production from Mongols does allow for some interesting starts, and I think one of the issues here for Lucifron is just how predictable France is, or at least how predictable people that play France are. So double producing spearmen, and we do have a barracks here, is always gonna be something that pays off. Spears are great against cavalry. It's as simple as that. When you double produce spear, then it's doubly good against cavalry. And France can't resist. No commander can resist getting knights out of the school of cavalry, their first landmark, as soon as they plunk it down. Otherwise, it seems like a waste. You know, why have such a building if you're not going to make knights out of it? The Viper looks like they're going to straight up attack. The timing here is something to consider. We're still in the Dark Stone Primal Age. Things like agriculture, evolution, and Disneyland Paris, they've yet to have been invented. Just how ready can Lucifron really be? Because, you know, France isn't going to be producing units just yet. They, like I said, School of Cavalry in the feudal age, that's when they make their first units. You might think that the town center can solidly defend against spearmen, but the Viper has scouted the gold position. And as you see here, these villagers are not in range of its protection. Lucifron needs that gold for their royal knights. The Viper might have just got the job done here. No messing around. Proper work ethics. We've got a game to win. Let's win it. Just, all right, get in. Do a bit of stabbing. Job's done. Bosh. Gold's yours. Buy yourself something pretty. Lucifron scrambling the builders for an outpost, whilst the mining camp slowly burns. The roof is now on fire. The Viper ordering the construction of their own outpost here to cover the gold, a forward retreat post as well, or a backwards advance post, if you will. We have the outpost up here. In fact, I don't actually quite think that this looks over the gold, not all the way at least. Just one or maybe 2 tiles more could have made a huge difference here. We shall see when the thing is alive and we put some soldiers or a peasant inside. They'll be able to fire out. Aiming for the scout first. Now they should be able to shoot. But it doesn't look like it. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Alternatively, that's very fortunate for Lucifron. May the heavens be praised that Viper will only kill us all if we leave our prison. Oh, how the gods have blessed us, a second outpost. So that's how it's gonna be, Viper. The Mongol Outpost Containment Program. I doubt that Lucifron is gonna hang around here with their knight. I bet the CEO of Activision's life that they'll just attack the Viper settlement, as I always do. Try for some payback, some diversion of Viper's attention. Does seem like they're on their way now. The outpost not quite constructed, thanks to killing the villager. It wouldn't be hard for the Viper to produce some new minty fresh spearmen to defend their gathering sites. It's going to be quite the challenge for Lucifron. On the other hand, it's almost 6 minutes in and one single individual mono knight on the attack. There is a second one that's going to join up, being chased by the spearmen. Actually got to be a little cautious now that the deer stones are up. The outposts are providing that yummy jammy goodness network. Movement speed is increased. Look how fast the villager is. They're going to resume construction of that outpost whilst two knights slip on by to see what damage they can do in return. There's an archery range up for Lucifron. That's perfect. That's what we need. A lovely bit of archers to belt these spearmen into submission, or the villagers. Arrows do tend to have a preference for spearmen and villagers. One might discover this information whilst playing around with Age of Empires 4 very quickly indeed. His units do not hold up well against the pointiness of the tip, the woodiness of the shaft, the featheriness of the fletching. It's all too much to handle, even just thinking about it. Arrows. Lucifron's gonna need more archers, but it's looking so much better than where they were a moment ago. The second outpost still not finished. The Viper will continue to scream and shout at their workers. What are you doing? Why is the work not finished? Oh, I don't want to hear about your problems. Arrows, well, put a bucket on your head. Do I have to tell you everything? If you don't get this tower finished right now, there's 10 more scum of the earth people like you who will. And the two knights will be met with spearmen on the defense. The Viper being overly cautious, moving the villagers into the town center, suddenly caring about their well-being. And the Khan is in action, and I absolutely love this. This is basically my dream RTS, where you have the leader with the troops giving orders. Another villager at the back bumbling their way to make that outpost, and there's stone gathering going on. I wonder what Lucifron has in mind with that stone. A second town center is probably on their mind. A very capitalistic outlook, I would say. Economy above all else. How are France's finances? They're looking good, sire. We lost 50 peasants this morning. Amazing. Keep up the good work. We'll be dead by midnight. Royal Knights looking more like royal decoys, as long as they keep riding around and the enemy keeps chasing. That's as good as it's gonna get. Maybe buy some time for that second town center. Gold at the back now being harvested. More houses being built. Interesting how the roads form between the mining camp and the enemy outpost. A well-traveled road. There's a brief moment of peace, but that's something that the Viper doesn't like. The sound of silence is a nightmare to them. And I would agree, Age of Empires 4 sounds amazing. I hope you at home are enriched by the sounds of the game's audio. Viper has a few more archers this time round and a few more villagers. Gonna try that second outpost again, further back this time. Lucifron's knights are not gonna hold up well here. The Khan increasing ranged attack speed, absolutely deadly. Those knights wanna try and get to the archers. The Viper, though, will ensure that this possibility is zero. Lucifron, though, doing very well. They have whittled down Viper's army. Incredible kiting and trading, but all the while, that outpost is nearing completion. It's going to be close. Reinforcements for the Viper. Knights are slamming the tower. Did get finished, but so are so many spearmen. The Knights can get to work against the archers. Everyone wants to climb into a tower. And that will be the call to disengage. Phew! More control goes to the Viper. More pressure goes to Lucifron. And the wind is blowing over from the west, spreading the Yam network to the east. The forecast is unpleasant for France. Meanwhile, Viper is thriving. Blacksmith for upgrades. They are upgrading their outposts with arrow slits to the plan. It is simple for Lucifron. Keep kiting backwards, eliminate the spearmen, and then send in the knights. Textbook. But I do feel like we're going round in circles. Viper has the moral support of a sheep. Lucky them. I'd like the moral support of a battering ram, but it might be too early to invest so much wood into one. Viper is struggling with these archer battles ever so slightly. They need that wood to maintain slight archer superiority. You can see most of the Viper's villagers are on wood. Could move that girl closer. Oh, yep, they're doing that now whilst the forces move out. Notice that Viper hasn't discovered much of the map. They've been telescopic in their approach, very forward-thinking and movement. They do see Lucifron's milling operation in the east. They've chosen not to attack. That outpost has successfully deterred their foes, so what will Viper do instead? There's a couple more villagers around here. Are they going to order another serving of outpost? Heading to the north, they will find the northern milling operation. What a surprise, complete with tower experience. Lucifron has done well to use Viper's narrow-mindedness to fortify key harvesting locations. They just need to convert this into some kind of military victory. Something they have been struggling with so far, and something that I think only 3 Royal Knights might not be able to accomplish. Especially if they're the kind of knights that have watched too much Jackass and gallop headfirst into spears. Now there's only 2 of them to do some conquering. I would say that is an insufficient amount of knights to perform any kind of conquering whatsoever. The Viper moving their army to take the eastern mill by surprise. Not everyone can get in the tower. Apply now for a limited chance to be protected from the hordes of archers. Terms and conditions apply. Not everyone will live. Nobody will live. You can't stop them. They are so strong. God help us all. This is a tragic waste of life. May they rest in peace in the great Disneyland in the sky. Lucifron here for payback. The knights push them round the back. The blue archers maneuvering to cut them off because no man has ever gone out of bounds before. I assume the symbols out there mean dragons afoot. Beware. The Viper may lose their entire army here, or thereabouts, leaving an eagle behind. But they certainly come off better in this trade, defeating so many villagers. Again, the combat still remains on Lucifron's side of the map. The warfare is all around their buildings, which means Viper is having a nice flexible time just gathering resources, spreading out. Here we go, the first almost, very almost charge into the villages for Lucifron. Didn't quite make it though, and one of the knights waiting for that chivalry healing to apply. The archers getting close to the Viper's village. What can be done here? Maybe not much at all, because the horns are sounding back at Lucifron's settlement. Who was it that said that famous quote? To attack or defend? What is the question? Oh, it's no army attacking, it's the calm. Sneaky cheeky little sausage, aren't they, hiding in the tower? They are the ones tripping the alarm, creating chaos and confusion and hesitation. Lucifron's looking in not bad condition, but those wounds are hard to see. Their economy has suffered. They've been living off the reserves accumulated up until the point a bunch of villagers were just killed. And this army is not something that can hastily be replenished, so care needs to be taken. And the Viper has reached the castle age. They'll be getting more gold from the Steppes Redoubt, situated to the far southwest. Lucifron looking imposing and bringing a battering ram. Fantastic! They might be hungry from the food shortage, but wood is in plentiful supply. Viper might not even have to use villagers to burn the battering ram here because they don't have too many spears out. It could still be enough. I'm sure we're soon going to find out. Sound the defense. The town center is armed and ready. The battering ram going solo whilst the army wedges itself in the woodcutting production line. Viper has a couple of their own knights. That's significant. It might not sound like a lot, but Lucifron is mostly archers with just a few knights. Because Lucifron split their battering ram and their army, Viper has no trouble fending off the initiation of this engagement. Had the battering ram been used alongside Lucifron's main force, it wouldn't have been a victory, but it would have been a longer fight that could have bought them some time to recover economically. This is one of those moments of victory which is not quite there to be seized yet, so instead the white flag is raised.
France has been defeated. Victory goes to the Viper.
Not only that, but they've secured peace in the lands. They've passed the threshold to move on to the semi-finals after 4 games. Now, I didn't get a chance to mention the EGC or Ironcast, so if you do get a chance, take a look at the video description for more information. Come along to the Discord, but most importantly, join us for the next matchup. Who will it be? You decide by clicking on the next video. I'm heading there now after a short rest. God, I've been casting all day. Bloody hell, my name's Anuki. I'll see you soon.